What up, witches? How do people get all the way to giving birth and not know they are pregnant? The body goes through so much change in 9 months, and it feels like it's impossible not to notice, right? Well, that's called a cryptic pregnancy. There's lots of reasons for it, and you're right, the body does go through so many changes that it's impossible not to notice the changes. The difficult part is we often get brushed off and told we're imagining things. We get told, oh, that's normal for women your age. Or, oh, this is just a womanly problem, it's probably just your period. And we get brushed off for things that should be concerning, for life and death things. So when it comes to pregnancy, it's surprising how many people in general have very little information on what's actually going on during that time frame. Now, what's extra fun is that if you happen to have additional factors, like if you are overweight or obese, you happen to have extra body fat, you are less likely to notice certain things like weight changes in pregnancy. I myself did not gain any weight in my first pregnancy. I lost weight due to hyperemesis, and I gained baby due to growing a baby. So I ended up being the same weight at giving birth as I was the day I got my positive pregnancy test, which was 186 pounds. That was insane to me. But I was literally the same weight. So people who are heavier set or have a different body structure may not experience a belly bump the same way. Additionally, sometimes you can have the pregnancy be really high up in your rib cage, and that is a totally different sensation than a pregnancy that is down below, which is closer to a lot of your other organs, your softer organs. If the baby's up here in your rib cage, there's a lot less space for them to grow or stretch and kick. Fun fact, both my mother and my mother-in-law experienced broken ribs as a result of fetal kicks. That's how powerful they can be. So it just very much depends. There's also the opportunity of, unfortunately, aside from medical neglect or a lack of knowledge, there's medical situations such as restricted fetal growth, a lack of fetal movement that could indicate something being wrong. Now, other times, it's simply women just don't know what pregnancy feels like until they go through it. And contractions can feel a lot like a really bad period. I'm not even joking when I said I have had a home birth, a home vaginal birth after cesarean or VBAC. And let's just say I have had periods that were worse than giving birth, and I have taken poops that hurt worse than the minor tearing I experienced from literally birthing a baby. So when it comes to sensations, if you are chronically ill, if you are heavier set, if you've never been pregnant before and you don't know what it's like, all of those things can affect whether or not you even recognize a pregnancy. Some people don't experience pregnancy symptoms at all. Some people experience very minimal ones. My mom had no idea she was pregnant with me until 16 weeks. That is 4 months pregnant. By 4 months pregnant for me, I had a full-blown baby bump. My mom did not. She had the teeniest, tiniest little rounding that she only noticed because she pressed down on her abdomen while laying down in bed. If she had not done that, she wouldn't have noticed for probably a couple more weeks. And by that point, it would have been time for an anatomy scan. It's crazy how, and I was her third, by the way. I was her third baby. She had no pregnancy symptoms. So there's lots of different factors between genetic, hormonal, medical neglect, lack of education, lots of different things go through how somebody could go 9 months, 10 months, really, in a full-term pregnancy is almost 10 months, and not experience or notice that they're pregnant. If you have a textbook pregnancy like I did, it would be impossible to know. But look up some of the people who experience cryptic pregnancies, and you'll see they don't even have a pregnant belly. It's just the way the body moves to adapt. It's just the way your body is made. All of us have a different anatomy. Being hypermobile, I have a different anatomy than somebody who is not hypermobile. I experienced the fetal ejection reflex. That is kind of a sphincter-like reflex, like when you go to the bathroom to poo. Same thing is happening just in the front part. So have fun imagining that, and thank you for this question because it is so valid. And the biggest answer is a lack of education and medical neglect is the primary reason for most cases. But when it comes to a true cryptic pregnancy, where you look at pictures of somebody who's 9 months pregnant and you're like, there's no way, those are mystifying to me. But it's just biology. How crazy is that? I hope you all have a great time and a great day, and drop more questions or things that you're confused about down below. I love hearing from men especially. I want to know, people without uteruses specifically, who've never had a uterus, who've never experienced a period, what mystifies you about the female body? Later, witches.